Well, once again, I wish you Shalom Alecha. And once again, we take you to a place that few people have been in the world, because these excavations, right where I'm standing right now in Jerusalem, are dated to 2010. I'm supposedly, based upon the archaeological excavations, coming out of the royal house, not of David, but of Solomon. It is possible, very possible, that we are looking at Solomon's Milo, his palace, his house. This is like so amazing. Can you imagine that as the archaeologists continue to study this, Elliot Mazar is one of them, as they continue to look at the evidence, that we may actually be looking at Solomon's Jerusalem. David's Jerusalem is just below us. Solomon actually extended it and then later on built his temple up here on Mount Moriah, which is right behind us, because we're just below the steps of the grand staircase of Herod's temple in Jesus' day, which is just above us. These are replicas of storage jars that are probably here in the basement of his palace. So awesome. So cool. They said here in one of the signs that it could be storage jars for his baker. I'm not sure. Quite amazing. Here I'm looking at, and you can't see it from here, but here's a mikveh. Not dated to Solomon's day. Solomon's day, they did not have mikveh. This is a Second Temple period mikveh in Jesus' day, but as they indicate, in the Second Temple period, they were actually using the rooms, the buildings, from Solomon's day to actually create new structures, which is not surprising. So this is just so awesome. Now this whole area I'm coming into as I'm leaving this royal area and coming to more in the open area is the gate house, the gateway area into the royal enclosure. So obviously his palace would have been much bigger up here if this indeed is Solomon's palace. It's really awesome. I think of a couple of things automatically, and that is with the fact that there is a Jewish presence here, and if indeed all the archaeological evidence points to basically the 10th century BC, you have Palestinian Arabs who are saying there's no Jewish presence here in Israel. There's no Israeli monarchy. Excuse me? Not only have they found David's palace, or likely have found David's palace, just across the street, Elliot Mazar has continued her excavations here on the Ophel, coming into the Temple Mount, and perhaps, and very likely, has found Solomon's palace. And we take a look at the Bible verses. I go right to one right now, where in 1 Kings 9:15, and it says, "Now this is the account of the forced labor which King Solomon levied to build the house of the Lord, his own house, the Milo, the wall of Jerusalem, Hatzor, Megiddo, and Gezer." So this is what we're talking about in terms of that, and it's just so awesome. It's interesting about Solomon that he becomes a cornerstone, if this is indeed his place, becomes a cornerstone to destroy revisionist history. There are archaeologists, they're called Bible minimalists, and the Bible minimalists here, both Jewish and Christian, in the United States, basically say this book, his word, God's word, is a fable, it's a legend. And they say David was just a desert nomad king. The same thing with Solomon. They never had any monarchy. And this, I mean, this is dated to the time of Solomon's period, and we see definitely royal structures, massive structures, that really beg the question, or not even beg the question, but give us evidence of strong kingly monarchies, just like the Bible relates. Here, as you can see, is a reconstruction of possibly the area that we're looking in, the towers, the walls, part of the royal structure, and so on. quite impressive. I know for myself, with everything that I study, I have never studied or I've never taught about Solomon's construction because I never knew it existed until Robin and I walked by here a couple of years ago on our 40th wedding anniversary, and we saw all of this stuff. This is just amazing. So today, I hope that as you take a look at this and you pay attention to the excavations here in Jerusalem, you realize that there is a Jewish presence, that this is the Jewish homeland, that Israel is the nation of the Jewish people, of the Israelites, of the Hebrews, and indeed they had a presence here at the Temple Mount. Just quite amazing. So it takes all the Palestinian claims and really basically throws them right out the window. That indeed there always has been a Jewish presence and this is their area. But there's a faith lesson here that just occurred to me. A faith lesson that is quite amazing to me in understanding what God had done. I'm here in Israel with my wife Robin and Pastor Rod, and we're doing this filming for you here in Israel at sites that not too many people get to see, especially this. I could have taken you to David's Palace. That's online. This isn't. This is brand new. This is just a couple years old. And we were working with another organization here. They asked me to teach on their tour, which I did. And one of the lessons that I did was the miracle of Israel. And one of the things that we began to notice when I was doing that lesson is God's presence among His people in every age. And it so happens that when I'm standing here, I feel a sense of tremendous joy. A tremendous, again, you've heard me say this before, at Kirbet Kiafa, Tel Sera, which is the possible place of Ziklag. The theater, yes. So there's a sense of real excitement for me in what I teach in Light of Menorah. The archaeology, the history, the geography, the customs and culture. This is real. This is just amazing to me.